that, I did. Welcome to the park board. Can you read it? Or no? Do you want to read it? No? I just want to let everyone know that you're being taped by FRG TV, and if anyone wants to tape, you have to just notify the chair.
Fred TV.
Fred TV, okay, Fred TV, okay? So everybody is aware of we're being taped, you can be taped, and so on and so forth. Victor?
I think we all should stand up and have a moment of silence for the victims of the two mass shootings. Move your hats, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call of commissioners.
Jeffrey Sullivan.
Victor Farias.
Helen Rigo.
Marcy Yick. Acceptance of the agenda for 8/7/19.
Make a motion, accept the minutes for the
Second.
8/7 meeting.
Motion's been,
Accept the agenda.
that's why I said accept the agenda.
But Joe said accept the minutes.
No, accept the agenda.
Accept the agenda for 8/7.
Right, okay.
Because-
Motion has been,
No, okay, watch the tape.
okay, uh-oh, you're being taped. Okay,
Wait for him.
all right, so Joe, you made a motion, and Helen, did you second? Victor? Oh, Jeff, okay, Jeff, you seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Acceptance of the minutes from June 5th and July 17th, 2019.
I make a
meetings.
motion that we accept the minutes.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Farias and seconded by Commissioner Rigo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Citizen input. Please keep in mind you have 3 minutes. Okay, Carlos Caesar. Let's see, Carlos. What is, oh, about the carnival, okay?
Yes, the carnival.
Okay.
Address, it's 367 Frost Street, Fall River.
Mhm.
Well, I'm back again because of the carnival. I was here last month, not happy how fast and how the deal was done, and how the mayor went over this boards for a carnival. And one thing that I would like people, especially at home, to know about the difference between when Flanagan went over this board. Mayor Flanagan went over this board and issued a carnival for my neighborhood. The fact is that after the fact, Mayor Flanagan came to this board for a permit to use the park, and the board issued the permit. What that was, the board had all the questions and to make sure that the event was safe. All the permits, all the inspections were done, everything was by the book, and so this board had a voice on, kind of a voice on, make sure everything went right. Like I said, I didn't trust the carnival, this company, so I did my own research. And many violations. I went there on the day, they opened on Thursday. I went there first thing on Friday morning. And as soon as I walked into park, I saw all the violations. I took some pictures, I sent some pictures to some people because I had very big concerns on safety. Not just for the people that were attending that carnival, but for the city to take responsibilities if something happened there. I took pictures, I saw cables all over the floor, the grounds. I saw water hose mixed with electric cables. I saw cable boxes open that I could just stick my hands inside, so any kid could do the same. When we had it, we had the rules. All electric needed to be fenced in. All electric had to be fenced in, make sure nobody had access to those. All the cables on the ground had to be covered by a carpet, so we all had to kind of coordinate all the cables to fit on one place and cover them up. I took those pictures and I called an inspector, city inspector. The city inspector told me, no, we're not gonna inspect it. That's up to the state. I said, no.
Excuse
City
me,
ins-
Carlos, we need a motion to waive the rules for 3 minutes. 3 minutes is all.
What's up? Make a motion, waive the rules.
Second it.
All in favor?
Thank you. So, I called the city inspector, and according to the city inspector, it's not up to the city to inspect, which I think it's wrong, because if this board was involved, this board would requested all the inspections done. I'm saying even fire department needed to be there and inspect this event.
I need a motion to, excuse me, Carlos, to just have a dialogue with Carlos.
Make a motion to make.
Okay, second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Helen. So we'll put this, we're gonna put anything with, because it's not on the agenda. So what we're gonna do is, we will put it on the agenda for next month. And we're gonna put the carnival to bed as far as we're concerned. Because we don't, there's no, we have a rule, it's been before us, some of us, and we understand.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to take this as an example for the future, so this doesn't happen again. Even if a mayor goes over the board, we need to keep the eye on the park. We need to make sure that everything gets inspected.
At that point, when you got there, Thursday you went or Friday morning?
That was Friday morning, Friday 9 o'clock in the
You
morning.
never did wrong. Did you call the mayor's office?
I didn't know. I called the inspector because I knew that the right person to call is the inspector to make sure that he
Who
went.
them carnivals before? Was the city?
We had, again, because the permit was issued for the carnival, we follow a document that it's online and Nancy provides us, which every inspector he needs to sign off. So is the certification for the park board that all the event it's okay to run, because the fire department went there, building inspectors went there, so everything was inspected. So I told them, no, I mean, I understand that the mayor overruled the park boards, but he cannot overrule the inspections. This
Well-
place needs to be inspected.
Right,
So
and I just want to make sure that people know that we had nothing to do
Exactly,
with the...
exactly.
But if it's in a park and there's any damages or anything regarding the park,
Mm-hmm.
after they go, it is our problem.
I was very worried again, and then what happened was, at night I went there for 10 minutes because I really I didn't want to be there for too long. I went there for 10 minutes. The way they resolved it, the electric part, was they put a yellow tape between the trees with the electric inside. I was there for 10 minutes, and those 10 minutes that I walk in and I walk out, I took pictures of kids inside the yellow tape where the electric is.
Well, we'll end up talking about this. We're
Exactly.
gonna put it
So-
on the agenda for next month.
I just
And we'll-
want to finish with couple more things that I
Okay.
think that needs to be mentioned. They start rolling off to the park, the trailers, on Tuesday, okay, which never happened before. Was the day before, we roll in, we install everything, and on Monday morning, we were there, on Monday morning, everything was gone. Today at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, County Street, on no parking side, still trailers there. And today
Today?
it's Wednesday, yes, because I drove by with my work car. So the trailer's still there. So that's another violation right there. I don't know why they parked there. We asked Sam's Club and we moved everything to Sam's Club. Matter of fact, I got a call on Monday morning after the Sunday asking if we were gonna have a carnival at Sam's Club because they saw everything at Sam's Club. And another thing was the signs. I remember that we could not put signs on the islands, on the streets. And I see signs all over
Signs for the carnival?
for the carnival. So I saw signs all over, and some places still have signs. And I know the city's been picking up some signs, and the city was there Monday morning picking up trash, which on my time didn't happen.
We were not there Monday morning picking up trash, I want to correct that. I was there Monday after work picking up trash, to which I will send a bill to the Carnival Company.
Okay, but I saw a truck there and a couple of people picking up trash, that's what I'm
That
saying.
might have been just the regular barrel run, but
Yeah.
then I had someone pick the entire park, and I will be sending them a bill.
So, I think it's something that we need to learn for the future.
Right.
And something probably that even if any mayor overrules a permit from this park board, this committee still need to have the hand on the issue to so make sure everybody is safe, and the city, it's not open for any suit. Because at the end of the day,
Thank you.
even if it's the mayor doing it, that's another big difference. When Mayor Flanagan did, his name was all over the posters, all over the advertising.
What we're gonna do,
This time
Carlos-
was no mayor mentioned anywhere, and he was the one supposed to have the permit, and he was the one supposed to be putting this carnival together,
And I
so.
do know that, and with that said, I'm just gonna end it, because we can go round and round with these carnivals, and I appreciate you taking the time to come to us and, you know, bring us up to par with what was going on with it. But we'll talk about this, we'll put it on the agenda so we can get everything out and people can talk, because it seems like it's an issue, so we can put it to bed, because I too got phone calls saying that the board approved it, we didn't approve it, and they were confused because the signs didn't say the mayor or whoever, so
Okay, very
we
good.
did not approve it.
Thank you for the extra time.
Thank you. Stop drinking.
I got it with it.
Okay, Crystal and David Alves. This- 110 Middlesex, and it's trees and sidewalks.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
State your name and address, please.
My name is Crystal Dickovic, 110 Middlesex Street, Fall River, Mass. I'm hard of hearing, so I'm gonna read your lips.
Okay.
All right.
We'll go nice and slow.
Okay.
Is that good? And you are,
I'm David Alves. I reside on first floor, 110 Middlesex Street
and
in
it's
Fall
for the
River, Mass.
same property,
Same-
correct?
same-
Yeah, I'm in
problem.
apartment 2 upstairs.
Okay.
Okay. You want to go first?
All right, can I just read this letter I wrote? All right. This is about the sidewalks. Writing this letter in regarding to the incident of the city sidewalk and the 2 trees at my residence. Sidewalks are cracked, broken, and lifted due to the 2 trees. I have fell down on the lifted cracked sidewalk last winter, January 2019. Then again on July 18, 2019, fell down my left side hip. My groin, leg still bothering me, still limping. I had x-rays done. Will be going to physical therapy on August 21st of 2019. I am still having a hard time walking, still limping, going up and down the stairs, carrying my bags for work, also getting in and out of my car. I deliver Meals on Wheels as my job, delivering meals to the elders. This incident has affected my everyday work and daily life, and I have included some photos. Can we bring them up?
Sure. I would get them, but I'm in the same group. Thank you. I'll pass on this one. Now, Mr. Alves, is this the same area that you're,
Yes, the 2 trees.
okay? Do you have anything that you want to
Yeah,
add?
yeah, this has been a very frustrating issue for me and my family over the last several years with, in regards to the property damage that it's caused. Besides the personal injury that it's caused
Crystal, our tenant. The property damage, it started around 2015 with the kitchen and the bathroom in the basement overflowing. We called a Roto-Rooter specialist to come in. They would go in, clean it all out. About a year later, it happened again. Called them again. They came in. It's happened on several occasions. The last time they went in with a camera, went through it. The pipe, now basically from what I'm being told, from my house to the middle of the street, which is a 20-foot span of the waste pipe, is my property. Because now the trees, is being told it's the city's property, I can't do anything with them. Now the roots are growing into the seams. The pipe is in perfect condition. Now he had the camera there and I had seen it. The roots are growing through the seams and it looks like hay. And all it does is pick up waste, toilet paper, and now what happens is, when it all backs up, we have, as the waste pipe, we have our washers, dryers, everything hooked up to it. Now, once there's any kind of restriction, it all backs up through the toilet, through the sinks, through the shower, in the basement. And then it just overflows. It's caused, I have an insurance, we had an insurance settlement with over $10,000 worth of damage. Now, after we had seen the condition, what's happening, the pipe isn't, like I said, the pipe is in good shape. It's the roots that grow through the seams, and it looks like hay, just collecting.
And you have that in that document?
I couldn't get, this was just a camera, I didn't get pictures. What I have in this document are other pictures. Now, it was explained to me, the only way is to change the pipe, which would be between $5,000 to $10,000. But the same problem could happen over time with the roots. He would put me on a maintenance program, which he would come 6 months to a year, but that's in power blast the pipe, but that's $600 at a shop. So I have a friend who works for Able Property, and he's been coming down 6 months to 8 months, depending, if everything's going good. If I start to see the toilets are getting blocked, I call him. And he's been coming, cleaning it out. So, with that being said, both trees, it's been an ongoing problem. Now it's lifting the sidewalks, as you can see in the pictures. Now in these documents are letters, some receipts that my mother has sent in. Lastly, if you
Where
look at...
did they send that in?
You have in your agenda.
Okay. Lastly, the last picture, there's two of them here. Okay, and I'll give you these. Now, in these two pictures, we have, because of the water damage, it created black mold on the drywall. All that had to be ripped out. We had to take out the insulation, everything. We have not put back together the basement yet because of this ongoing issue. Now, if anybody would like to come and see it, you can see it. What this is a picture of the foundation wall. The roots are growing through the foundation.
And that's our tree.
Yes. Here's another one. The roots are growing through the foundation. Now,
Do we have that?
yes, I will. Now, if you can probably see in the clear in those pictures, one of the trees, the trunk, it's probably no more than 8 feet away from the house, because you'll see the fence. The house is situated 2 feet away from the fence, so it's very close in proximity. The other one is towards the backyard, but my waste pipe from the house is situated between both trees, and it's lifting the sidewalk on both ends. So,
Okay.
basically, it's been frustrating. We've been dealing with this.
Sorry.
If you need more from Able Associates, I can bring you more receipts, because my parents own the property, but I live there, so I've been taking care of it now. Basically, I hate to tell you this, but the city's property is damaging my family's property, and we need a record. I hope we can get this resolved and have these trees removed and our sidewalks repaired,
Okay, it
please.
is on the agenda in a few minutes if you want to
Yes, thank you.
stay so that you
Can I present this?
Yeah. Do you want these? Can we have these?
You can have them, those are your copies.
Okay, thank
I
you.
have my own.
You have your own copy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Letters that were sent,
Sorry.
pictures.
You feeling okay now?
So.
Yes. And then you can see it's online.
Okay.
And it's just just more pictures of the sidewalk.
Okay.
As you'll see at the back, the last 2 years.
Right, we have, I think we have this, yep. Okay.
So, they were, I guess that's the insurance appraisers that were insurance from Commerce.
Yeah, Georgia.
I guess so, that's who Commerce sent out.
Now we'll discuss it when we get.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Sorry for your trouble.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very sorry. John Botello, Federal Little League.
John Botello, 86 Woodman Street, Fall River, Mass. Mine is very simple. I'm here to, my certificate for solicitation that the leagues were supposed to get. I got mine and here to present it. Hope the other leagues do the same.
Thank
So-
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
And then, more importantly, thanks for taking the time to come down and present it to the
Yeah.
board. Lenny Tavares, Bob Weiner, what is it, Weiner? Sorry, I apologize, I could not read that. Yeah, you can stay there. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, is more like it.
Good evening.
Good evening, could you just state your name and address, please?
Len Tavares, 29 Mockingbird Lane, Tiverton, Rhode Island.
Motion to waive the rules.
Motion to waive the rules has been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, the ayes have it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're just here tonight just to change the date on the Korean monument dedication. I believe it was supposed to be in August due to a couple of other facts, and then due to the big Portuguese feast in South Park, we were asked to move it to September 7th. And I just want to let the board know that...
So you're just asking for the time
Yes.
date change? Okay,
Yes.
it is on the agenda, so
Yes.
we will,
And the board invited him to
yep,
clarify his event, so I don't know if you
Well-
wanted to do that after when you entertain them.
yeah, that's what I think would be better. Unless you want to tell us a little bit about,
Yep, sure. It's, we're gonna have a tent from Jam Tent Rental. It's gonna be 30 by 60. We're renting 100 chairs and 18 tables from them. And we're also renting 2 flat griddles. And we're gonna be cooking hot dogs and hamburgers at no charge for everyone that's there on that day.
okay, there's a protocol that we ask that you follow, so you'll be following that protocol?
Yes, yes. Matter of fact, I just went up and, because I was told to go talk to Monica Souza, and she had said that she would have all the permits and everything down to Nancy.
Okay, but we don't, what we do is we deal with directly
Okay.
with you, so when we have a form, but we'll go into it when we discuss it.
Okay.
That way there, you may want to just stay around so we can just discuss it a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
And,
Because I filled out the form before.
No, this is what,
no, it's like, it's a protocol
Okay,
sheet.
okay,
Okay.
all right,
But Nancy is good with that, so she
All
can
right.
explain it,
okay,
all right?
yep,
thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Kyle Gregory, filming at Oak Grove. Hi, could you state your name and address, please?
Yes, Kyle Gregory, it's 530 Etna Street, Fall River, Mass. I'm just here to seek permission to film at Oak Grove Cemetery on Monday, August 12th. And I just wanted to say that I'm aware of the fees, certain protocols that they have with not showing names on tombstones, and I also I don't know if you need pictures, but I do have pictures, so it shows where we're filming, so we're not around a lot of gravestones, and so it's pretty much just to gain access to film there on Monday.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yep.
What's that? Okay, citizen input is done. No. Did you want something in the back? Joe wanted something in the back. New business, open meeting law complaint, Colin Dias regarding the open meeting law statement. Would you like to entertain a motion to send to Corporation Council?
Motion.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Sylvia and seconded by Commissioner Farias. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Next on it, let's see, item B, cemetery fees, pricing. Chris, do you want to, can we have a motion to waive the rules for Chris Colon?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. There's no tree. We'll take it out of, don't worry about it. I'll back it up. I can't see, so I apologize.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm here today to go over some new fees for the cemetery, mainly in relation to the columbarium project that's ongoing that was approved by the board. So I provided in the handout that starts with the typed info, not the path info. 3 different options for pricing. Breaking down those options to niche price, the opening and closing fee, and then the total once 2 complete interments are completed. And then what those fees would generate for perpetual care, as well as the sale of lot fund for the cemetery, and then funds that would go to the city's general fund as well.
Okay, I just want to let the commissioners know, we were presented this before, and we had to wait, and now everything's rolling, and
Yep.
everything's good, and this is great. So now we need to come up with an option so that Chris will do a letter, send it to Nancy so I can sign, and then we submit it to the mayor and the city council.
Correct.
Okay? So the options are here, 1, 2, and 3. We have a third one now, which is even better than the second one, quite honestly. So we would need a recommendation from the board to pick an option.
Right. On the second page, I provided some information as to what other cemeteries local to us are charging for these very similar units. So they range in price from $1,000 to over $2,000 a unit, Notre Dame being the most expensive. So we want to be in line with the other public cemeteries. So that's where the option prices came from, was the research we did with other
And
cemeteries.
even the third option is still
Right.
less.
Comparable,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
So, discussion? I'd entertain a motion for option 3. What's your thoughts on option 3?
I like the idea.
Yeah?
What's your recommendation?
My recommendation is either option 2 or 3. Option 1 is very low compared to what other cemeteries are charging. It's important to keep in mind too that if families are choosing to inter cremains in a columbarium, they're not going to have to purchase a headstone or monument for their family. It is provided. The only fee that they would have to incur on that end is the engraving of the external door to their specific niche. So they will realize a cost savings on purchasing a monument for their loved ones. So
It's just amazing how much difference.
Yeah, and I mean, and if the board is
53,
yeah, compared to, yeah.
I mean, okay. Yep, I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to interrupt, Commissioner. No, just the fact that this is one of the few projects that we've dug into perpetual care for.
Right.
Allowing us with option 3 to replenish those funds. It's not an attempt to make money. It's just an attempt to try to replenish the funds that we've reached into for that. So I just wanted to make sure we said that.
yeah, like when we came to propose this option, it was really looking at, an option to provide a new burial space for families that was cost effective for them, but also maintain, we were able to recapture our investment and then also provide a little bit of extra funding for perpetual care that'll just continue to go back into the cemetery and make sure that we're able to sustain it in the future.
Nice.
The board needs to keep in mind as well that these fees cannot, or are usually not increased on a regular
Right.
basis, so you need to
Right.
pick an option.
That's
that is
why I'm
gonna allow
saying, I
you
think
to-
option
There is also in there, the fourth page is our current fees. The last time they were updated was July 1st, 2016. So it has been a while since they've been updated. And I think that update was primarily around the transitional assistance burial. I think most of it stayed the same.
So we haven't gone up since 2016 on the traditional.
Correct.
Well, since before that.
Since before that.
In 2016, the transitional assistance burials went up. The rest of it stayed the same.
I see, okay.
Maybe some of them went up. I'm not entirely sure,
It did.
but
Okay.
it has
Still.
been a while since there was a fee
But
increase.
minimum.
Minimum,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
exactly,
Minimally
right.
raised.
And all of those fees were still very competitive with the other
Yeah, I looked
municipal
into it,
cemeteries,
yeah.
so
I couldn't believe it.
I wouldn't suggest changing any of those. They're still fair prices for what other cemeteries are getting.
Okay. And that's for the traditional?
Traditional burials, correct.
All right. Discussion or motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt option 3.
Okay. Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Farias and seconded by Commissioner Sylvia. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
And then the second fee recommendation is for cremation liners for traditional in-ground cremation burials. So that's in that same packet. It's page 3. So there are a number of cemeteries that are starting to require cremains that are buried in-ground to be placed in a cement or permanent liner. We currently don't have that rule, so they can just bury the urn in-ground. We also allow 4 cremains per lot, so the permanent cement liner allows them to be retrievable and identifiable when planning future burials, to make sure that they're protected moving forward. We do require them for traditional full-body burials that a casket is placed in a cement liner, so there are a number of cemeteries that have done this in the past and are looking to do this, I think, in the future.
So what's our rule? What's the rule that we have?
Right now,
Yes.
for cremains, there is no rule for
I
liner.
would think that we need to first have it on the agenda to vote, or could we discuss it now?
I think agenda ready.
That's what I thought. So because there's no rule on the books for us, I would,
You can raise the fees.
we can do that, exactly, but how are we saying about the lining, and, because we don't have that now, as you said, it's not
Right,
possible.
agreed.
I would say, put that on the agenda.
Agreed.
Let's vote on that, get it all,
Sure. Well, you have the information
we have it now, so it can
to
go on the agenda.
consider for the next agenda.
Yep.
So what's the fee right now for,
Well, this would be an additional cost. Right now, there is no rule that says there has to be a cement liner for cremains, but that's what we're looking to do. So I agree wholeheartedly,
Yeah.
put it on the agenda, let's have that discussion, approve it or not approve it per the board's wishes, and then at that point, we can put a price to it.
Yeah, I didn't know that was happening, because it's very rare that it, that you don't have the line anymore.
Yeah,
Well,
true,
It's very
true.
rare, so.
We're trying to catch up to
That's okay, that's good.
speed with some of the other surrounding cemeteries in the area.
Okay, so you'll submit that in for the next agenda?
Correct.
Okay.
And then the last thing, it was mainly just for your edification. There's a breakdown of the current fees, the last page, the current fees that are charged by the cemetery, and then where those funds are allocated, so you have an idea of where the money goes, and how it can be used.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too.
City's general fund.
City's general fund.
Yeah.
You normally don't bury on Saturday.
We do allow Saturday burials. There is an overtime fee, though. They are rare, and most burials are occurring during the week.
But people do it now, some people do.
And our Saturday fee is also very competitive with other municipalities. There's some municipalities that have higher fees on Saturdays, and then also fees for afternoon burials, which we don't have.
Okay, all right, so
That might
that's,
be something, Chris, you want to put on the agenda as well, with the
Yeah.
fee changes, with the rate changes for your men. That Saturday rate may change as
Yeah.
well, so while addressing fee increases, maybe we want to address
Sure.
okay,
that as
that's a
well.
good idea. And then the other one is, okay, it's for September, okay. All right, and then this is for
The next
landscape
agenda. item.
pricing.
Yes.
Okay, so this is landscape pricing. You gave us this too, right?
Yes, this was presented, I don't remember what month, but,
April.
yeah, it was a while ago,
It's
but
April.
we're
Is
coming
this
back.
price still good?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
I spoke to the contractor, this price is still appropriate. So it's to excavate, do all the prep work, and then install the cobblestone pathway for the columbarium garden. So that front page is what the path would look like. On this end, the straight line path is the current road, and then our columbarium units will start up in this part of the circular path. As these become popular, and if we need to purchase more units, it was designed in a way to accommodate more units to be placed, so we aren't having to spend significant sums of money to do landscaping in the future. So that price is there for your consideration and funding for.
And we're utilizing as much in-house product as we can, cobblestones, granite slabs for possible benches and things of that nature, trying to keep the cost as minimal as possible.
This will be out of perpetual care.
Perpetual care or sale of
Sale of
lots, it's up
lots.
Sale
to.
of lots.
Board's purview on that.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, the cobblestone we have, so we won't be purchasing cobblestone. This is strictly for the labor of installing, excavating, grading, looming, and seeding when they're finished.
But again, just for the board to keep in mind as well, with the fee increase, if approved through council and by the board has already been proposed, this increase and the number of niches that we can sell will cover the cost of landscaping so that we can again replenish
Yeah.
that perpetual care. 'Cause it's as much of a concern for myself as it is for the board. We don't want to see that dwindle.
So now, everything, we'll see, we'll see bills, we'll see,
Correct, yep. It'd be the same
Statements.
as the other accounts you set up for the digitization and the columbariums. You'd sign the contract.
Right.
And the bills would be forwarded to you all for review and approval.
Okay.
And a separate account would be set up in our.
same way.
Right,
Okay.
yep.
Okay, entertain a motion to accept.
Motion.
Motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No. All set?
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
I'll stay here for the trees too. That's the next one.
Okay, well, I have to say I made a mistake. I skipped number 5, and I apologize immensely. It's street tree planting and tree committee, so you're here anyway, so you're
Okay.
street tree planting. We have one memorial request for North Park.
I have to be honest, I'm not familiar with this request. I didn't see this. No.
No, those don't go to.
No,
No,
that's what
it
Chris
doesn't-
takes down.
Yeah.
And the request to plant would normally come from my office, or hopefully soon, we create a tree commission, which I need to speak to you, Marcy, about that.
Okay.
But I haven't gotten an official request from Christian, and I did cancel last month's tree planting meeting, as I stated.
It came
this
from
year,
Cory.
Last week, I understand, but
Okay,
we
well-
canceled last month's meeting due to the fact that I felt some concern with the tree commission not being formed and going any further with what the process was prior to that, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to table
Table it,
that,
yeah, we
then
will.
I'll give you
Also
some more,
table
I'll give you
number
some more
5.
information.
Motion to table has been made and seconded. All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it. And I apologize, I just didn't see it. Well, I guess I'm entitled to make a mistake. All right, tree removal request for corner of Middlesex and Barlow. It was tabled, I need a motion to lift it off the table.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Was tabled on June 5th. You're up.
So taking into consideration the information that was presented during citizens' input, I would say that these trees should be removed, and we will do so, if approved, with great haste.
Okay.
Motion to remove the trees.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Sylvia and seconded by Commissioner Schulenberg. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, you can take down that tree.
Okay.
Corner, tree removal request for the corner of French and Rock.
1015 Highland Ave.
Oh, 1015 Highland on the side of that one.
Yep, 1015 Highland does have some canopy issues, and it lost a major leader probably in one of the storms, so I would recommend removal. It's not an imminent safety danger, but it will become a growing danger as it continues to rot.
I'll make a motion to,
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Jeff?
Jeff. Okay, now we can do the corner of French and Rock Street. Sorry about that. It was on the side. Didn't see it.
So French and Rock, the tree does have a larger rot hole in the middle of the trunk. It is causing sidewalk damage, and I would also recommend its removal.
We have that picture in here, right?
I believe so, yes.
I'll make a motion that we remove that tree.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. 144 Austin Street.
Again, this has some storm damage to it at one of the leaders at the top of the tree, and it also has a hollow base along the bottom, so it could have an uprooting issue. So my recommendation is to have that removed as well.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. I think this is the last one. 6 Prospect Street, yes, 616 Prospect Street.
Yep, so this one to me was borderline, so I had our contracted arborist go and take a look. I guess she's looked at this back in 2018 as well. She suggests that it's a low-risk removal that could become an issue as that tree continues to grow. She recommends removal when funds and manpower is available.
I'll make a motion.
Motion's been made.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Rico. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Item E, request for Veterans Memorial Bicentennial Korean War Vets event. Change the date to September 7th and details of proposed event. So we did hear earlier of the proposed event. All I would ask is if they follow protocol, and hopefully there'll be no parking on the grass, because we did have a few complaints at one of the events, so hopefully the parking won't be allowed on the grass.
We set up, we made arrangements for that. We're gonna use the parking lot. We've already worked it out with other,
Okay,
we're gonna use the parking lot for the handicap. They were having a bus take them back and forth from the old Coke plant or Pepsi plant, whatever it is.
okay. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So as long as, I don't see a problem,
Motion to grant permission.
as long as
Second.
it's by protocol that what we have. Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Request from Grace Bible Church, Somerset, regarding Kennedy Park outreach meeting on Saturday, September 14th, or the 21st from 12 to 4.
What's the raising the rules there?
Okay, from what I don't think anybody's here.
Nobody's
but
here.
They just said that it was just an outreach with a person playing a guitar and just trying to get people to know about their church. I'm just hoping that this event is what they say, because many times people say they're having a small event and then it turns into a big party.
Can we get more information then? Is that it, or is that all? I mean,
That's what he said. I mean, I had a conversation with the man, but I mean, if the board wants to approve it as that, and I will you know, make sure that that's what it is. If it's anything more than that, then he'd need permission, you know, it's with the stipulation that it's just a 10 by 10 tent for
To approve
information.
this with them stipulations in it.
Question, is this a new group?
Yes.
They've never done this before.
No, you want them in before you, then you can do that as well. But they're looking for September 14th. We won't meet again till September 4th.
Want to ask them to come, Commissioner? You have questions?
Perhaps they can move it to October. I can, that's entirely
Well,
up
if
to
you're not
this
sure,
board.
then we can table
Oh,
it.
I mean, it's a new group and they're from Somerset, and not that I wanna
Well,
Okay.
close the borders to anybody,
wait a minute,
but
we have a motion on,
why can't they do this in Somerset? Why are they coming to our city to do it? And I would like to ask that question, yes, so I would like them to come before the board.
Where is it at Kennedy Park where they want to use the pavilion?
Which part of Kennedy Park, where the pavilion area is?
Nancy, was any motion taken yet?
No.
You want a motion to?
A motion to table,
But I'll
so
still-
they can come before the board.
Okay.
And-
Second.
She said you didn't.
I didn't think you did you? I thought
You made a
asked the
motion to
question.
accept?
Yes.
Okay, then we need to remove your motion.
And I
seconded it, Okay, so you remove your
Yeah.
motion, okay? So
Move
Joe,
mine.
Joe removes his, Commissioner Schulenberg removes the motion, and Commissioner Sylvia would like to have a motion on the floor to table, and Commissioner Rego seconds it. So if they could come before the board so we could have a discussion, that'd be great. September meeting, okay? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I mean, if it's as small as they're saying, they should be able to put it together in 7 days. If it's
Yeah.
not, then
Or they can change the
they
date.
can change it to October.
G, soccer leagues at Britland Park, second half schedules, lighting and porta johns.
Yeah.
No one's here.
No, well,
Nancy?
this was on the agenda the last time, and I believe the chairwoman has been in contact. I have all of the schedules beside, I have the Fall River Youth Soccer Recreation fall, but I don't have the travel fall schedule. I do have BCC, there's a couple of Saturdays. I do have Durfee, I've worked with Mr. Buston and Mr. Viveris to kind of iron out some of the conflicting dates that they have. There are 2 Saturday dates that I don't know if Fall River Youth Soccer has plans for those dates because I don't have their schedule. So I don't know if the board wants to award these dates and
And then what if they want it?
Well, we've asked for it, if in your packet, we've asked several times for their schedule. So
Why do we have lighting and porta john down here? Didn't we swear that away already?
No.
no. To be honest with you, I think the lighting and the porta john issue for this season until if everyone comes in is gonna be
Nothing you can do, I
a
guess.
dead point because it's got, you know, the girl was here the last time saying no one has a problem with it. I'm getting people calling that they do have a problem with it. I think at this point, the board is gonna have to readdress the way they look at awarding soccer permits. Perhaps we do them partially where there is a second half of the schedule, so we award from March to July. As we know, we found out this year, they take a 6-week break. We didn't even know that. The schedule, we saw that there's some days there's 8 hours reserved, there's only 2 hours of a game. To get a handle on that, when we issued permits, we issued them through the end of November.
So
at
then
this
what we should
point-
do then, we should just accept what we have and let everyone work around or work together. I mean, we asked
Well,
for
I'm
this
sure, the problem
information.
is, my only problem with that is, I'm sure BCC needs to be able to say, yes, we have that date. So are we excluding those dates from Fall River Youth Soccer, whatever time, 2 hours or 4 hours that BCC is gonna use? Fall River Youth Soccer is gonna have to work around that because I don't have a schedule.
Well, we can't wait for the last minute to award because people
If
have
they didn't
to,
give us that schedule, then
so,
Okay, so I'm gonna send an email to them stating that these two dates, they should not
If it passes.
schedule any games for this because the board is awarding
Right.
the
Well, we
leagues that
can't
are
keep
already
putting
there.
everything on hold. When we ask for something, then,
Well, because September's coming, I'm sure they need to, the schools need to have their schedules
Before
confirmed.
you talk, I respond to your request
They responded to,
without those dates.
they
Everything but-
gave me the fall recreation, which plays on Friday nights.
well, I'm up at 5:30.
And I don't have anything for the travel
They won't say anything.
teams. And I've asked, and
Yeah.
Commissioner Yinkin has gotten into email exchanges as well. So the only thing I can do is say these two dates are, well, I think there's only two Saturday dates for probably
Only 2
4
days,
hours.
that's so good.
Yeah.
They gotta come
We've
off the table.
We've asked, the chairwoman has got involved with emails, and you have.
Yeah, just,
I mean, how long are we gonna put it off for? They were requested, and for whatever reason, they don't wanna respond to the request. And we can't hold up everybody else. So, my motion would be exclude those two dates, and if they have questions, they can more than
So
welcome
award
to
the
come in.
dates I have, and
Yes.
if they interfere, then we work out the
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion,
I'll make a motion.
okay. Motion's been made by, you started it, Jeff. so
Jeff, seconded by Joe,
Joe,
as far as
right.
I know.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Request from Troy City Titans to use Britland Soccer or North Baseball. Well, this is a football team, so didn't we have a rule that it was football on football or soccer on soccer? And
Right.
okay, so then
And the dates that they're asking for, people already have them.
They have
the soccer field. So the
okay,
football's
so
not available.
unfortunately, then I would have to have a motion to deny.
Motion to deny.
Motion to deny has been made.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Request from Fernando FC Soccer regarding Britland Park.
Again, I wrote on your, that they, Wednesday nights are already a shared field, which they're requesting, and
Mhm.
Sunday, it's a shared field between the men and for youth soccer, so unfortunately, it's not available.
It's not
Unless
available?
something comes up that I don't know about.
Okay. Okay, so we can't, it's already taken, so we can't really.
Well, until I get forward youth soccer's
Schedule.
schedule for the Sunday, I mean, I can't award. I'm not
Okay,
gonna have to work around it, you know.
Motion table till we get.
okay. Motion to table has been made.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. TLC filming, updates, details, proposals. It was tabled on July 17th, 2019. I need a motion to lift it off the table.
Motion to lift.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. So,
I was
Nancy?
told that this, I don't have any updates, but I was told by Monica in the mayor's office that she's not sure that it's even an active request anymore.
Okay.
We have not received any additional information, and I don't believe she has either.
Okay, so motion to.
Motion to table.
I would just take it off the
Take it
table
off,
and
you can't keep
let them
bringing it up.
Motion to
resubmit.
remove.
Made, yeah, motion to remove. It's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
So remove from the table.
Remove, yeah.
And resubmit if.
Resubmit it, yep. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, that was Jeff and Helen? Or-
Yes. I'll get Victor. No, wasn't me, not yet. Not yet. I came in confused. Okay. Request for filming Oak Grove Cemetery, 8/12 and through 8/15, Kyle Gregory.
But this is the one day, this is Mr. Gregory. What was the date, Mr. Gregory? One day, right?
Yes,
Oh, it's one day, so is
What
it
was
the
it?
8/12?
August 12th, yep.
Okay, 8/12.
And do you have a specific time, 11? Is it all day? This says 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
About 12, probably 12 now, 10 to 10. So a 12-hour day.
I would just ask the commissioners, as long as he follows protocol and
You do know if
The
there's a
fee.
funeral, you're gonna stop, right?
Yes.
you know, work with Chris Perano and,
Is there a list?
I have to pay for the extra, right? 10 PM, what, how, speak it,
yeah.
you can't speak
Well,
to me.
The
you gotta
cemetery
speak
is
to-
open, that you have to pay for the extra time.
There's an extra fee for it, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you're gonna work with,
Yes.
okay, and you'll just keep us in the loop, just let us
Yes.
know? Okay. Okay, so
Make a motion?
motion by Commissioner Farias and seconded by Commissioner Sylvia. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. All set, thank you.
Thank you.
Request for staging area, Oak Grove Cemetery. John, I need a motion to waive the rules.
Motion to waive the rules.
All in favor?
Aye.
All
Mr.
opposed?
Ferland is here as well to address any
Motion to waive the
questions for his
rules for-
department.
Motion
Mr.
to waive the
Furlan?
rules.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Hi, how's it going? Thank you very much for
Can you
seeing
state
us.
your name?
Yep, Paul Ferland, Deputy Administrator of Community Utilities, Water and Sewer Department. We're currently in the process of reconstructing the President Ave pump station. That's a pump station that's located in between Newport Creamery and McDonald's over on President Ave, in the President Ave Rotary. We're placing that new pump station to the east side of Newport Creamery. Our contractor would like to have a lay-down area. Through the contract, we'd like to provide them the lay-down area. Originally, we were looking at the Bullock Street property, which is down over in this area. That's a bit congested with some of the cemetery's equipment and other things that they have down in that area. Currently, on our recent project that we've been doing, we've had an area to the north side of the cemetery used as a lay-down area by our contractor Resendes for the Crestbrook project. We really didn't see that feasible for this project to be able to use that area, just because of the dust that has been causing over there. And the construction was right in that area, so that's why it was okay for the Crestbrook project, but we'd rather not impact that area again. The area that we'd like to use is this area right in here. This is a 2008 aerial. Some additional clearing has been done in this area. The area is currently used by the Parks Department as a lay-down area for some of their brush piles and different types of storage materials in that area. So we'd like to be able to have the contractor fence off a section of this area and be able to use it for his lay-down area. Residences are far enough away where they won't be affected. We'd like to allow access for the contractor to do a cut right here through the fence. He would be required to put up a chain link gate that is locked. We'd rather do that rather than coming through this the main entrance, just to keep any of the vehicle traffic, the construction traffic up, coming straight in rather than maneuvering through the opening of the cemetery. Through the Crestbrook project, we've worked with Chris on any days where there's burials or things going on within the cemetery, where we ask our contractor to stay clear of that area. He'd be using this area primarily as laid down for overburden as they dig stuff out, to be able to place it there. Also, when he gets either large pieces of equipment in for the pump station, use that as a temporary storage area. Where we're building the pump station, the current pump station is in the middle of the parking lot. There's no area there. The new area, we're bordered by wetlands in the Mass DOT rotary, so it's a very tight site the contractor's working with. After the project's complete, we have about an 18-month construction time frame. After the project's complete, we'd fully restore any areas that are disturbed down here. This area would be fully cleaned up, temporary fence removed for the contractor's area, and then the fence along Oak Grove would be restored to its original condition.
So you had stated that the pop?
Oh, that was just
We use it.
cemetery. He said
Okay.
parks, but he meant cemetery. Sorry. Yeah, that's okay.
Well, we need to put it somewhere.
Yeah, and just for the board's information as well, I think this is a win-win for us, obviously with the Crestbrook project. Paul's departments have been working with Chris, as they said. We've reaped the benefits of some of that reclaimed materials from that project, build up our potential expansion site, and I see this as no different. Inevitably, we've had some discussions in this very room about possibly bringing back the greenhouses to Bullock Street and, doing some work to Bullock Street to get it back to what it once was. And if that was ever to come to fruition, we would need a new staging area for the cemetery as well. And this will create that for us. And even if we don't get to that latter stage of redoing Bullock Street to what some would like to see it as, it'll allow us, when this project is over, to move our equipment, move our staging area to the current temporary staging area for this project, and get us away from those residents on Bullock Street, give them a much-needed relief from the noise and the trucks and the cars, right?
We'll have updates throughout it, right?
Absolutely.
We can get updates so
Absolutely.
that the board.
Say 18 months?
Yeah, so construction period about 18 months. They just started clearing and grubbing the site over at the President Ave Rotary. So construction starting now. So it'll be running through the winter, and probably next summer will probably be when it will be. The spring we'll be switching over to the new pump station, but then it's still demo of the old pump station and sewer system in the parking lot. So.
Any questions? No, that is a win-win, nice. Thank
Motion to
you.
grant permission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you think next time we can get an aerial shot from like 2019?
We'll try.
Okay. We'll have to call Google or something, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Etna Street Playground layout for proposed improvements. It's in our packet.
This is the project that Mr. Dion from CDA came in and proposed.
Yeah, that's right.
He said he would keep the board informed, so this is the proposed layout for that general location at Etna Street. I don't see an issue with it, it's pretty much
I got a question for you
what's
about
there.
that, Nancy. Do they want to put a fence up in the street?
In the front,
Yeah, because these people don't want it.
they don't want a fence to
Because
fence
they
in.
cut through that property to go to Oswald.
But they're not supposed to cut, because when they're cutting through that, I think they're cutting through someone's yard, correct?
Yeah, it's a blank field on the other side. And they just cut right through to go to the store because then people were gonna put a fence up. And they came before us a few years back about this, about a fence over there.
Yeah.
And we said no because people
Well,
cut
if the
through.
board wants to propose fencing and leaving an opening, and then leaving an opening on the other side, but I think Mr. Dion is gonna want to fence in the front side, even if it has an opening. You'd walk through the openings, right?
So what you want, but I don't think they want a fence, totally.
Then
You know, I go for
There
the
is a
open.
fence across all the backyard properties.
Yes, yep,
Okay,
yep.
so are you
Both ways.
saying the
This way,
people,
this way.
the people?
Just the corner's open.
Right, so if he let a piece of that fence, brought the fence along the property lines, he's probably gonna keep the property line fence, it's probably the homeowner's fence.
Yeah,
Okay, so the homeowner's fence goes to a certain point, and you're saying there's an opening.
yes, right.
So if he leaves the opening in the back, if the board is asking for him to leave the opening in the back, he's definitely, for probably safety reasons, is going to put a fence. I don't know, I haven't seen the plan, it doesn't show, actually, I can't see if he's proposing a fence, but I would
Can we
think.
find out if he's,
Are you,
um,
are you speaking about that Etna Street side, the front of the playground?
motion
Yes.
to, wait a minute,
Yeah.
He's talking about both, because there's a
Yeah,
fence in the
no.
back.
wait a
Come
minute, there's-
from,
if we're gonna have a dialogue, we need to have a motion.
Motion to waive the rules.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, do you wanna come down then?
Well, I mean, I don't have concrete information, but in my discussions with Mr. Dion, the intent of the fence on the Etna Street front side was to keep kids from running out into the street.
Right, like you said.
Right, exactly.
So all he
So,
would
but
do is bring
there
the
would be an
fence
opening
here
on the
and
front
open
to
so
get
they
in,
can go
obviously. Now, the property that abuts the back side of it, I do know the homeowners that abut the easterly side very well. There's a fence on their property that runs that length to the back corner where the opening that you speak of is. And then that back corner, but behind that abuts that opening, I'm not sure who owns that. I'm not sure if that's city property or if that's a private owner.
But you know as well as I do, everybody cuts through there to go to the store.
Understood.
Okay, so then what we need to do then is, you don't want the you've got concerns about the fence. We need to
Yeah,
know
you guys can do
whether,
whatever you
Well,
want.
my
I'm just
concern is
recommending
who
leave
owns
that
the
open for
property,
these
because
people
we
to go
can't.
through.
Right, and that's what my point is, right, that, my
well,
point.
no, that's not, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah, we
That's-
know that.
Wait, that's not what Joe's saying. If I'm not, he's not saying you can go through someone's property. He just doesn't want the fence. He wants to know more about the fence. So
Right.
we could make a motion to accept pending the,
Well, he's just asking you to approve what's going in there. He's from on here, it looks like a basketball court,
okay, so this is
hopscotch.
just
This has nothing to
do with any fence or anything
And
else.
you can address the fence, you can say the
This-
layout is fine. If
Okay.
you want to address any fencing proposal
Okay.
before it
How's
goes out to
Okay.
bid.
And I am meeting with
Okay.
Mr. Dion on a separate issue tomorrow, so I will try to get you guys some more information, and I'll
You know what
pass
you're
that,
talking about, right?
pass that on. I
Well,
know
he
exactly
could-
what you're talking
What
about.
he could do, though, if it's okay.
If it can't be done, it can't be
Look,
done.
But what
I,
he could do is just tell Mr. Dion if he could send the information to Nancy so the
yeah,
board could get it.
no, absolutely.
That way there will be all set.
Absolutely.
But we would, the proposed plan, we have a motion to accept, right?
And I,
Second.
And seconded,
and
just what's inside Nancy.
Right.
Okay.
With fencing being submitted separately.
Right.
And I will also get the information regarding the ownership of that empty lot, that, where that opening is, just so we know.
It's been empty for years.
You know, it has been, you know, I'm not sure if it's city property or not, I know we don't
Somebody
maintain
said
it.
was city property.
Yeah, we don't maintain it though,
I
we
don't
don't,
think it's
we don't cut it, and we don't maintain it, so I'm not sure, but I will get that information, at least that way the board has it to consider, all right?
But you can see the path that goes
Oh,
right
I know,
through there.
I know it well, I know it well, yes,
So they don't have to
absolutely.
go all the way
Yeah,
around.
no,
Oh,
okay,
well, we're not
thank you.
telling anybody to
Thank
cut
you.
through anybody's house or lawn or anything. Thank you. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks, John. Okay, thank you, everyone. A letter of thanks from Al Lima.
Motion to place
Quickenham,
on file.
Real, okay,
Second.
motion's been made and placed on file. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Who motioned it? Commissioner
Jeff and
Sumner,
Victor.
and seconded Victor.
Joe.
Joe, okay, Joe.
Cool.
Just wanna see,
School buses, use of
Nancy, would you like to read the letter, please?
Oh, really?
Yeah, read the letter.
On behalf of the Quickersham Rail Trail, I'd like to thank the park board for the use of Britland Park. The event was a success. Many people don't even realize that there is a river located behind there. Many persons who have lived in their cities all their lives don't know that it exists. I'd like to add my thanks to the park board, the staff, Mrs. Smith. Everyone was very helpful and thorough and accommodating. Again, my thanks to the park board for consideration of our request for the use of Britland Park for the festival.
Nice, well, we have to read some of those things, right? Update charter school bus use of Kennedy and Maplewood Park.
We met with them, John and myself. The Kennedy Park one is going to move down to the bottom as the board discussed next to the pool. We haven't discussed Maplewood as of yet, but John met them, I believe yesterday or today regarding measurements. And they're going to put a cutout for the buses to go through and a curbing.
Where?
On Bradford Avenue.
Motion to waive the rules?
Motion.
Second.
Sorry, I didn't
That's
realize
okay.
we gotta wave every time I
Yeah,
come down
we do,
now.
yeah.
Okay. What Nancy's discussing is the Kennedy Park location. So we're gonna take Atlantis Charter completely out of the park, and we're gonna put them down by the old pool on the bottom of Bradford Avenue. We're gonna do some like construction work there in order to accommodate the size needed for the buses. So that process is ongoing, but that's outside of the park.
And who's paying for that? Even though it's outside the park.
Well, it's a joint effort between the city and Atlantis. So we're working with them on trying to get that done.
Okay.
So, but,
Nothing to do with
It will be city as far as.
yeah, no, it doesn't
But
have,
still, it's the taxpayers, so I'm just curious, because I'm a
And where's the
taxpayer.
parking lot gonna be?
parking lot, it's not gonna be a parking lot, so it'll be a bus pull-off
Yeah.
for the, so directly in front of the old pool.
Oh,
At the bottom, correct, yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was thinking where the tennis court.
No,
Right,
not at all.
You know,
No.
right. So
So you're
it's
just
down
gonna
more
pull
on
right in
Groton Avenue.
and
Yeah, they're gonna be able to pull in,
Yeah.
right up along the curb in front of where the old pool is. We'll have a 3-foot island that'll run the stretch of where the buses would be, allow more parking for the parents to try to alleviate that issue. And it'll allow a safe, controlled area for the kids to get on and off the buses.
But the parking lot's not in the
No,
park.
It's not-
what it is
yeah.
that where
It's just
there
gonna
was
be pulling
parking
in.
for the
Oh,
pool
okay.
before, it was
Where
no
you
zen
went through,
parking.
right, okay.
And now
Yep.
the
I know
pool
where
is
that
is.
closed, so it's going to be
Yeah.
turned
Yes.
to the bus.
I see, yes, Commissioner.
Yes,
So
Commissioner.
I see.
that area is where, Nancy, you said where the cars used to park,
Correct.
No,
in
this way.
in there.
Yes, correct.
Are you extending that area?
We're going to take out one of the bump outs, so if you're familiar with the area along the sidewalk, you have, I'd say probably several, maybe 5 bump outs, so about 10 feet wide, and they come off the curb and the sidewalk about another 12 feet. One of those will be removed to allow the necessary length for 2 buses to pull up back to back.
So that's not the park stuff?
No,
so we don't even
nothing,
have to-
no, nothing
we don't
will
have
be
to
going
worry
on
about it,
inside
so
the park
Thank you
itself.
for moving it from upper.
Well, that was the intent, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a mess.
No, absolutely,
And
agreed.
we still get phone calls, but I hope that whatever's proposed for that area
Yep.
comes back to the board so we can see what's gonna go on, because they're gonna pay for that, right?
They are, absolutely, and that was part of my discussion with them yesterday, but right now, isn't the best time to plant grass, so what we'd like to do, and Nancy knows this, in our meetings, we have to figure out if we're gonna put curbing, traditional curbing up top around that area that was damaged, or if we're gonna do like an asphalt berm. And then once that's done, they can put their loom, they'll have something to butt that loom up against, and then they can seed it closer to the fall so that the grass will take and offset that issue.
I'd like some research done before we do that, because isn't that a Olmsted Park?
Yeah, everything would be in keeping with what is existing there. If you run the length coming in from Broadway, you see asphalt berm coming up to the Park Department Maintenance Garage. We'd also like, and we are considering actually widening that opening road, not taking a whole lot, but maybe 5 or 6 feet and widening that to alleviate some of the congestion issues with cars pulling in and cars pulling out. Sometimes, as you all know, it gets a little tight there on the entrance in. And with that project, we would be paving a nice area where Nancy currently keeps her trailers and parks some of the trucks on that grassy area near the old cannon.
We would
We'd
see
be
the-
giving her a little staging area for that as well.
We would see the designs or anything that you decide.
Absolutely.
No work would be done until it came to the board.
All I've done at this point was just get some prices on some ideas, different options and what those costs would be. Once we think we have a direction that we'd like to go in, we'd present that to the board and ask for their input.
And that's gonna be paid from the charter school? Or that's gonna be?
That'll be
where
a
will
city
that-
project.
Where will that come, where will the money come from that?
That's something that's still being
Yeah.
discussed, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
So,
I'm curious.
But it's all gonna benefit, number one, it's getting the school out of the park, so
Your
we don't
budget?
have that issue. Well, I'm sure some of it's gonna come out of my budget, yes, absolutely. My budget, engineering's budget, I do believe, Lower Kennedy is CDA eligible, but not Upper Kennedy. So it might be a combination of several different funding sources, but.
So before we move forward, we'll get on.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Get on the same page.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The main concern right now is to just get them set up
Yeah.
down at the bottom because school's starting August 27th. So we wanted to make sure for a charter, it's the 27th. So we wanted to make sure that they were set and ready to go down the bottom and just make sure you guys all knew that
that
we
they're-
were gonna keep them out of the park and that issue would be settled, yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
As far as Maplewood, we've kind of been approaching this one bowling pin at a time, I could say. So Nancy and I had some preliminary discussions about some things we could do at Maplewood to try to offset some of the issues, possibly running a fence up the length of that Park Road to keep the cars from pulling in over the culvert onto the grass.
That looked terrible, but
But that's something, again, that the board's input would be, vital on.
for
so-
Maplewood, I would think it's okay as long as, there's no issues. If there's any issues that people bring to the board, then it would be addressed again,
Well, I
just to
think
let you know.
there's several issues, I think.
There's issues
Yeah,
already with
there's,
the tires,
yeah,
the parking, the
yeah.
trash, we brought one last
Yes.
meeting, so we're gonna, I guess we'll have to address those as
Right, as they come up.
Can.
Right, okay.
I think Kennedy was the bigger of the two issues, and that's
Yeah,
what we
right.
prioritized it as. But obviously, Nancy's correct, there are concerns at Maplewood as well,
Yeah.
but of a lesser invasive nature. So I think we can put together some ideas together, and then present those to the board and see what options you guys like best. When I say a fence, Ms. Chair, I just want to make sure you don't think I'm mean like a 6-foot
Yeah,
fence. I just mean about like a 3-foot fence that would run the length, similar to what we have at the inclusion playground, where it's a low-lying fence, just to keep a separation from the roadway and the park
We
itself.
can have a discussion. about
But that's
that,
something to
yeah.
consider.
Okay, absolutely, okay. Thank you for the updates, John and Nancy, very good.
Thank you, John.
So that's the department updates, I would think, right? Do you have any department updates, Nancy? You wanna go first?
I did ask Sandy Dennis for an update for the CPC projects because as the board is aware, last funding round, they said we had concrete step money to do north.
Yeah.
And I have not received any documentation stating that, so I can't go out for any proposals until we get that. So I've asked Sandy to kind of update us on what projects we still have open, what we
It's
don't.
also fenced in, right?
It's still
Yes.
fenced in, yes.
Victor, do you know where we stand on getting the money?
Not right now, still haven't finished it. So,
Was it this year or last year?
it's this year, beyond
I
this
think
year.
This year?
I thought it was gonna be awarded July money, right?
Oh, was it award yet?
It's
FY
been
20.
awarded, but it's, yeah, she hasn't, you haven't let me
anything
send
out.
it out yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I have been in touch with
Thank you,
people
Vicki.
about the hockey floor.
Oh, yeah.
Sent them an email, I'm waiting for them to respond to me. We talked about the buses. We do have some benches with the veterans. They're gonna have 2 benches installed, we know about that. I also reached out to Chris Gallagher about the men's comfort station in Kennedy Park, the one up top. It has been burned, it's fallen apart. They're gonna button it up for the Holy Ghost Feast with plywood, but I really think that we need to be in touch with Mass Historic because that building is a disaster. We gotta do something with it. It's
Okay.
just- So I will try to reach out to them for that as well, so. That's pretty much it as far as that
Remember
goes.
that's your building?
No, up top, on the Bradford Avenue side,
Yeah.
there's a building, one-level
Yeah,
building.
the baseball field, right?
It's got a stone bottom and the top is wood. That used to be a men's comfort station, that's what we call it.
What do we use it for now, anything? I'll forget it. All right.
Where John, do they use Porta Johns now?
No, there's nothing there, it's completely a mess.
Okay. Well, you
But I
did
want to
know.
keep the board aware that I will be contacting or having Chris
Yeah, well-
contact Mass Historic because
Yeah,
it's just, there's no fixing it.
I
The
saw
only thing
the
you
email.
could, yeah, I've copied John. The only thing you could maybe salvage is the bottom stone part and I don't really think it's,
Well, out of curiosity, what about the wall? Kennedy Park wall?
that's not done yet. That's, Mr. Gallagher has the money from CPC for that. The one that Bradford Avenue, the
Yeah.
one, it's
When-
still pending.
That was pulled out,
That was pulled out?
I think so.
The $30,000 for the wall?
I'm not
I
sure.
thought that was still in
It's
play.
still in play.
I thought that was still in play as well.
Can we get,
We
I've
got-
asked Sandy for
She'll
an
get
update,
it,
so.
everything's in.
I'll follow up with them as well, so a multi-pronged attack might get some more answers.
oh my God, okay, all right.
That's a nice way to put
It's
it.
all in
Like
play.
that.
Chris, you have anything?
So the cemetery is pretty much business as usual. With the tree division, we've been doing a lot of work in Kennedy Park, Upper Kennedy, in preparation for the feast. So we've taken down a number of trees on Bradford Ave. Earlier spring, late last summer maybe, we took down some on Main Street and Middle Street that were just pretty much completely dead. So we're going, taking the stumps, looming that, so all the parks have to do is put seed on in the fall. Took down what I would call as a massive tree next to the office. Monday,
completely dead.
I think it was Monday, we took it down,
Yeah.
along with two totem poles that were over there, so.
But the trees in Kennedy Park, though, those were gonna come down anyway, correct? Not because of the feast?
No, not because of the.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure,
Right,
because
yeah, they were-
I knew they were coming down
They were
because of-
completely dead, but we
Right.
prioritized Kennedy
Right,
Park
exactly.
over others because the feast is coming up, and I know.
That's okay, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and with
okay,
the
just
mid-
wanna reiterate
yeah,
that
and
way.
with the
We knew
Middle
they were
Street,
coming down
the
because
Middle
they
Street
were on the
project that's been
list.
going on,
Yeah.
the traffic over there has been controlled, so we were able to
Right.
get over there. So it was a combination
Yeah, we see a lot
of.
of trees going.
So that's been taken care of. We took down a tree in Maplewood at the corner of the Park Drive and I think it's Albert Street.
The city council would be very proud because the parks that are eyesores that they said, they wanted them.
Right, well, I touched base with Nancy
Yeah.
and we identified
They
the
said-
top parks
they said, yeah.
to go for. We took some stumps out of Ruggles Park along Seabury Street. We're planning to go back and take, there's a group of like 5 pine trees that have absolutely no needles on them that need to come down. So that's our next project, is to go over there. So we're making some significant progress with the trees in the park and utilizing the money to work on some street trees. So we're getting a lot of work done in the tree division lately.
Okay. Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, thank you. Commissioners' inquiries? Anybody have anything? Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn been made and seconded?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.